Hi, I'm Jake Shaw with Kern Laser Systems. One question that is frequently asked is, how can I achieve a clean, dross-free cut on stainless steel with nitrogen as the assist gas? This application requires some unique, yet simple setup procedures to produce successful parts. In today's video, I'll go through the setup procedure and software settings needed to successfully cut stainless steel with nitrogen on your Kern CO2 laser system. In today's demonstration, we will be working with an Optiflex laser system with a 400 watt CO2 laser with the metal cutting option installed. We'll also use the 5-inch focal length V-focus assembly. The metal cutting option comes standard with a 2.5-inch focal length V-focus assembly, but the 5-inch works best for cutting 50 thousandths and thicker stainless. If you do not already have a 5-inch focal length V-focus assembly, they are available for purchase on Kern's laserlocker.com website. Before getting started, make sure to put on your certified laser safety glasses. As with all metal cutting, the laser beam must be centered through the copper nozzle and the focus gap must be set to about a 10 to 20 thousandths gap from the nozzle to the material being processed before moving forward. These two procedures are crucial for successful cutting of any type of metal. For assistance on centering the beam to the nozzle and setting the focus gap, please refer to our focal adjustment V-focus video for assistance. I've gone ahead and centered the beam to the nozzle and set the focus gap on this system already. For the vast majority of metal cutting applications, the focus point is set to the top of the material. When cutting stainless steel with nitrogen assist gas and looking for a clean, dross-free edge, the focus must be set to the bottom of the material. This can be easily achieved with our adjustable V-focus assembly. The first step is to determine the thickness of the stainless you plan on cutting. I will be cutting 50 thousandths stainless. The focus assembly is currently set with a 10 thousandths gap from the nozzle to the focus point. To move the focus point to the bottom side of the stainless, turn the adjustment dial on the V-focus assembly counterclockwise until it has traveled the thickness of your stainless. In my case, I will turn it until it moves 50 thousandths. Use the gauge marks on the dial of the assembly to precisely set the height. Each mark represents 1/1000th of an inch in travel. Now, when the focus assembly lowers to the stainless, the physical gap from the nozzle to the metal is still 10 thousandths, but the focus point is at the bottom of the stainless. Because we now have the focus point at the bottom of the material, when we go to pierce the metal, it will either blow a large hole or it may not pierce at all. K-Cam has the ability to set the height follower sensing gap for piercing and cutting independently. In K-Cam, click on Settings and select the Vector Settings tab. Enable the checkbox for Use Separate Pierce Slider during pierce. Click OK and open the test feature. Two slider bars now appear in the test window. One labeled P for pierce and the other labeled N for normal cutting. The N slider will be left alone, which is set so when lowered, the nozzle is 10 thousandths away from the stainless. Turn on the height follower switch and enable the height follower in the test screen. Click on height follower to lower the nozzle to the metal. Select the P slider and move the slider up until the gap from the nozzle to the stainless is about 60 thousandths. The 60 thousandths is the original 10 thousandths gap plus the thickness of our material, 50 thousandths. This allows the focus to be at the top of the material for piercing and then will drop down, placing the focus at the bottom of the metal for cutting. If you change to a different thickness of stainless, the adjustment dial on the V-focus assembly and the P slider bar will need to be adjusted accordingly. The last step is to enter the speed, power, and air pressures for cutting the metal. In KCAM, close the test screen and click on Settings. Select the Vector Colors tab and enable the color or colors of your cutting file. Set the speed to 1.5 inches per second, power to 90%, frequency to 3500, and the laser start percent to 65. Next, select the Vector Settings tab. Enter 0.2 seconds for the start delay and set the gas type to nitrogen and pressure to 100 psi. For during cutting, select nitrogen as the assist gas and set the pressure to 150 psi. Enable the lead-in control feature and set the distance to 0.05 and speed to 0.15. Once set, click OK. Some minor tweaking may be necessary for optimum cutting results. Have nitrogen connected to the laser system and click Cut. Enable Cut Vector and Height Follower, and when ready, click Start. If you experience difficulties or have any questions on setting up your system to cut stainless with nitrogen, please contact your Kern salesman or Kern's technical support.